Hello, in this video I am going to experiment with Resource Spawner Overhaul. I confess I have not played through a complete game with this since I've been playing Factorio these last few years. I keep seeing this at the top of the mod portal list. And I believe in large part that's due because in early access versions of the game, the resource spawning in vanilla didn't work so well, and so a mod was like this was required. So from what I've read, it's if you're just playing vanilla or even close to it, it's not one of those things that is necessary, but it will and can, you know, sort of change the flavor of the game, and that's something I've been looking forward to in a mod. But so anyway, let's get into this. So my plan is I am on the mod settings screen. So my plan is to first generate a map and then go into the editor. Well, actually I'll go into the editor and then generate a map and have a look around and see what the mod seems to do, and then I will tweak some of these settings to see how they play out. One thing I have learned from experience, and well, I should have, if I had read the mod description more carefully, I would have learned it from there, but don't use basically anything but the presets, the default preset rather. Don't use railroad settings. I tried that earlier today. Got these ridiculously large patches. So my understanding, and I hope someone will correct me in the comments if I'm wrong, but it's best to use this mod with the default or settings. Okay, let's get into this. So the first time I'm just gonna keep everything right out of the tin. Resource Spawner Overhaul, nothing's been changed. And then we'll look at that, and then I'll come back and we'll look at some of these settings that I would be willing to play with once I use this in an actual game. So I'm gonna go ahead and confirm those. And we want the map editor, new scenario. I'm going to just stick with the default map. I'll tweak this a few times. Now, there's no point in using the preview because, well, you can see what the land looks like, but you won't see what the ore patches look like. So I'm just going to leave that off. So I'll go ahead and regenerate the seed. And again, I'm leaving this in the map generator's default settings. All of these are even, so let's go ahead and see what happens. And I am going to go ahead and use editor extensions to place down one of these really crazy large radars. In fact, I'll probably need a few of these. Okay, so that is painting in the surrounding area while that's going on. Let's look at some of the nearby starting patches. So we have starting ores. There's a oil patch in the starting area, so you can get a couple pump jacks down at Blue Science and at least get enough to get some flamethrower turrets or a few red circuits being made. Small, relatively small patches. Let's look at the size of these. So yeah, I'm not sure what these are, but we're noticing that they're around less than 500,000. Okay, so about 250,000, 400,000, 300,000, that sort of thing. Okay, So let's look. I'm trying to keep it zoomed so you can kind of see the scale, I guess. But let's look around. RSO does also affect the placement of biter camps. Now, notice when we look at the map that that the first biter bases are pretty far out there. And while we're at it, let's look at these surroundings. So a nearby iron ore, that's a pretty good hike. I believe this is much farther than if I had went with default settings without the mod. This is much farther away, as are these. But these are still relatively small ore patches, right? Okay. So now what I want to do, well, let's look at some of these biter bases. So, again, I'm using the editor extensions mod, so that's why I'm able to see these. So, pretty small bases, nothing, pretty easy to deal with early game, which is kind of nice, I guess. Unless you want, like, Death World settings or whatever. No worms. Okay. What does it look like? The game is supposed to be running, but that's okay. Okay. Anyhow. So it does look like the it does look like the biter bases have changed. So now what I want to do, let's look one more. Yeah, so now we have some worms once we get all the way out here. But within that range, so one of the things that says on the box is that, you know, they space the biter bases out such that it makes it a little bit easier to get out there, but you will, you know, here and there you're going to encounter biters, so they don't completely like disappear. All right, so you can see how, yeah, you'd basically want to train to get out to these areas. That's like a couple thousand, I think. Let's look at the grid size. Yeah. All right, so let's go out. Get the map painting here a little bit. So I'm moving the camera or the virtual character out into the parts that hadn't been generated yet. And let's wait until this fills in and plop down another one of these fancy radars. Do I need to give it power? Maybe I need to turn on the time. There we go. There we go. So now it's painting in this large area. So you can see now this is a pretty good stretch away, and like it looks like there's only these 2 copper patches and a coal patch and a couple of fairly healthy oil fields. There's another copper. So a few copper. They're very far apart. Plenty of distance. Only 1 iron in this direction. So another thing that that the mod description says is that basically you won't have like an even mix. Like in large regions like this, it'll focus more on 1 ore. So let's go out. Let's go out another. Let's do that again. Get even farther away. So I think in the vanilla, I think by now we'd be seeing with vanilla settings, if I remember correctly, I think we'd be seeing probably like 20 mil size. And like here we have like the big bases and all that kind of stuff. So I think usually we'd be seeing like the large ones well before this point. Let's let this paint in. Okay, now we're starting to see some much larger. So here are these large, gigantic patches. And again, this is with the game's vanilla, or not vanilla, the game's 100% default settings on everything. So now we have these like full-size biter bases, pretty large copper patches, plentiful oil, and all that kind of stuff. But look how far away we are from the starting area. So the starting area is here. This is a really good stretch. Okay, I am going to go in the other direction now. I wish there's probably like a quick button or console command where I can just quickly relocate myself, but I can't remember exactly how to use it. And it's faster just to scroll than it would be for me to go look it up. So let's go in this. Let's go a fair piece in this other direction just to see if we notice any differences. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to we'll make a quick note of some of those sizes, and then I want to. This is strange. Okay, yeah, I was painting in. So I want to make a quick note of some of these sizes, and then I want to play with some of the mod's default settings. Personally, I think just based on what I've seen with this playing around, what I would do is, my plan is to play a game with RSO enabled, but I am going to just leave it straight up settings out of the box. Maybe there's a resource richness multiplier. I might tweak that, actually, but we'll see. So out here again, here we are again. Well, there's more copper. I think I see more copper. I mean, I'm sorry, more iron. But there's also is a lot of copper. So it looks like this mod would require some additional expeditions to go find the good stuff, which is good. Okay, a little tiny uranium patch here and there. All right, so far I like what I'm seeing. This is promising. In the past, I think I've tried this mod a few times before, and I think I tried to use like settings that I was familiar with, like railroad defaults or jacking up the richness or size or something like that, and it has you know, the things, it just doesn't scale. It doesn't behave the same way as it does in the default version. So I'm coming back here close to the starting area. Where's our ship? There we are up here. There we go. So we're back. Now let's look at these. So the 500,000, 250,000, 300,000. So we'll kind of remember what those are. And then these sort of neighboring ones are in the, looks like the 1 to 2 million range. So you within this area, right? Within this sort of area, like I think you could easily get up to where you're working on beginning megabase. No problem. All right, let's look. Let's get out of this. Let's play with some of these settings. I'm not going to play with all of them. I should be about halfway done if you're yawning and wondering if this is almost over. Okay, settings. Mod settings. Map. There is a startup. Something or other. Use vanilla biter. Yeah. I like the biter. I'm not going to, like I said today, I'm not going to play with that. Okay, so let's look at read the tooltips here. Size of generation region. So it defines the size of a region It's used for resource generation, which is defined in chunks. So bigger values will make resources more sparse. So let's look at this, skip one, and then go to the resource chance multiplier. And this is the chance to spawn resources per region. All right, so it's out of the box, it's set to like a 50% chance in any, I guess, 7 square chunk area. So if you want fewer resources, you would increase this a little bit more. Or if you want a denser, occurrence, a more frequent occurrence of resource chances or patches, you would increase this. Okay, I'm leaving those alone. Those are, I'm fine with those. So starting, let's double this. I'm gonna double, so I'm gonna use 2. So the multiplier is 2 if I understand the maths for this. We're at 1, we got like the default, so this should be twice as rich. So some of those earlier patches, instead of being between 1/4 to 500,000, we'll be seeing between 1/2 to almost 1 million. Okay, so, and that's in the starting area. And I don't know what the game considers the starting area. I suspect it's that first big area that could be uncovered by radar, but or maybe it's just that immediate area around the thing. I don't know. So okay, the richness multiplier. This is the global richness multiplier. I personally, I have no interest in changing that. I think that you can get out to where you have like those humongous 30 million size ore patches, which once you start researching the mining productivity, you're going to be fine. So resource patch multiplier. I'm going to put this at 1.5, so about a 50% increase. I'm going to keep RSO biter generation, leave the base chance alone. Because yeah, as I was going through that, I liked what I saw. Same way with the enemy base size, I like what they've done with that. But if you wanted to play like a Death World or something like that, I think these could be. This is where you would tweak it instead of the vanilla map settings. So you would tweak these and then leave the map settings alone. Now these advanced settings, where it starts saying advanced setting can break game balance, I definitely am not messing with those, so that's beyond the scope of this video. So so just to review, I've made the patch size a little bit larger, and I have increased, and I've doubled the density. Let's see what happens. Okay, again, leaving all this as default settings, randomize the seed, and let's have a look. Okay. So yeah, I think maybe this is what's revealed right now is what they, I don't know. Yes. So we have our little bit of oil. And yeah, so now we're seeing, I made the patches a little bit larger and a bit more dense. And so now instead of 1/4 to 1/2, yeah, we're seeing between 1/2 and a full million. This time the copper is larger, or no, it's not. Interesting. I especially like this little bit of, it's so nice to have this oil here so that if one wanted to, they can get started right away with, making like the cliff explosives or getting the flame turrets up or what have you, sort of like faster than they might usually. Really like that. I don't know why I'm fixated on coal rocks. My brain can't help, but anyway, okay. Okay, so these might be a bit larger. Yeah. But I didn't change the density for the outlying patches. But if memory serves, and you can play this back, I will. It looks like these are a little bit, because I just increased the size, the physical size of the patch. It appears that these have more ore. And this one, look, they have biters on it. I'm sure I would have, if I noticed that, I would have been looking for it, I would have noticed that in the first run through too. But notice that these are guarded. That's another thing I think that the mod does, is that it puts biters near the bases. So I'm gonna go ahead and take one quick. I'm just gonna go in one direction. We went east and west last time, so let's go north. I think we're gonna see the same thing. Maybe just larger. Like I think the last time we saw it, like the largest we saw was about a 30 million. So let's see, maybe we'll see about 40 million this time. I don't know. Okay, this is good. Should put us like deep into and it hasn't painted this, spawned in this part yet, which is fine. Yeah. 30, 29. Yeah. I think these are a little bit larger. So I think for me, just to wrap this up, I'm going to use this mod. I'm going to do a playthrough. Yeah, 50, like, I'm going to use this with I'm going to use it with the default settings. I might, I think I'll tweak the starting area richness up a little bit, but as far as the size of the patches, I don't think that needs. So anyway, I hope that at least gives you a little bit of an idea of what this mod does. I made this video because when I kept seeing the RSO, I kept on seeing that mod show up here and there and at the top of the list, and I kept on wanting to find out what it does. And frankly, I just have not found a video that's been made like within the last few years that you know, really does it justice and explains I think, you know, how it's supposed to be used and what it does. So just to wrap it up, to sort of summarize a little bit, if you use it, leave the map generation settings alone and instead go into settings and then mod settings to the map tab and play with those instead, and then just leave the map generator settings default. Okay, thank you for listening. If you found this useful, I'd really love to hear see a comment down below. Aaron, if you thought it sucked, go ahead and let me know about that too. All right, thank you for watching. Take care.